Hey YouTube, thank you for tuning in and welcome to my channel. My name is Tiffany. I wanted to come and show you all my lock extensions. I decided to do braid locks and I wanted to show you, well, pretty much tell you some of the pros and cons of having braid lock extensions. And so before I let you know the pros and cons, I wanted to tell you a little bit about how I installed the lock extensions. So let's get to it. So first I was thinking about getting the lock extensions that's already like they already crocheted, and a lot of times companies will send you lock extensions that's already done, and all you do is take your crochet needle and you will crochet it into your natural hair. I wanted to still go through the locking stage, but I wanted to get a little more length. And so that's why I decided to buy 100% Afro human hair, so that way I could either twist it or braid it into my natural hair and then just still go through that locking process. So I purchased the Afro hair from, I believe it's pronounced Macon Styles or Macon Styles, and I'll put the information down below. But I decided to just order the hair loose instead of order, because she was able to crochet it for you and send it to you, or you can just order it and you can use it for braids, twists, or even if you want to lock it or do it yourself. So I ordered 4 bundles of the Afro hair. I believe I ordered 8-inch, but she sent me 10 inches, and it came in like this little package. It was like pretty much 4 big balls of hair. And I ordered, because you can order different colors. And so I ordered the off black, I believe the version off black. And so I thought that it was going to be like a more brown, like a brown color. And I guess you can say, like, if you look in the sunlight, it looks a little brown, but for the most part, it looks black to me. And my hair, I had dyed it like a chestnut. So that's one of the cons, I would say, is because it didn't match my hair color. But I'll get into that in a little bit. So after I ordered the hair, it came pretty quickly. In a few days, I was able to receive it, and I just started installing it. So I parted it as if I was just doing braids. And so I did my what is that called? The parting system that you would still use for braids. It was to start off with just your natural hair. And so I took about 2 or 3 skinny pieces of strands from the human hair, and I put it to the side. And so what I did was I took one braid, I started braiding. I didn't use any products. And it was on dry hair. And so I started braiding it, and as I was getting to my the tip of my natural hair, that's when I would add a little piece and braid it some more, and then I'll braid it a little bit and then add another piece and braid it. And I did that so that way the braid will look the same size all the way down. It wouldn't have that skinny feel and then it's like big. If I was to add like a big piece, it would look just uneven. Now, if you was to rub your hand down this strand, I can tell the difference of where my natural hair ends. Like, I can tell where I added it, but from just the naked eye, you really can't see it. I don't know if you can see that, but for the most part, it looks pretty good, and it's like starting to frizz, so it's blending really well. So that's what I decided to do. Now let's get right to it. I just have a few pros and cons of lock extensions from my experience so far. So I'll start off with the cons. So one of the cons for me is the texture is different. When I first touched it, I was like, oh man, because although I have really kinky hair, my hair is still soft. So this hair was it was just different, a different texture. And so as I was braiding it, after I got done, it irritated me because my braids, you could tell my roots where my natural hair was, it was just so soft. The braids just feel silky, and then when you feel the tips, it's just like so rough. So that's one thing I did not like, and I was afraid that I was going to see it as well. So what I did was, like, after I installed it, like the next day I washed it. Like, I was like, let me just keep washing it so it can start frizzing, because I knew this natural hair, which one thing I love about this human hair that I bought, it frizzes really good. So it kind of blends. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's really frizzy. And so now that I wash my hair maybe 3 or 4 times, it's blending really well. And I installed this May the 27th. And so that's one of the cons. The texture is different. That irritated me. When I rub my hands in my hair, I noticed a difference. And so I didn't like that, but you really can't see a difference. I just noticed a difference by touching it. And I will say, by me washing it, hopefully as time go on, it will just soften up, because I noticed it's starting to get a little softer than when I first installed it. Okay, so I wrote it down so I won't forget. Another thing is it may not lose the braid pattern. So that's a con that may not happen, but it may happen, and I'm expecting it to. I'm kind of just keeping that in mind, that it may not really lock. And so that's one of my fears as my hair, because I'm going to interlock. So as I interlock my roots and it grows and my roots get a little thicker, I'm afraid that where I installed the afro hair, I'm afraid it's just gonna always look like this, just a braid, like a frizzy braid. Now my plans is to cut it, just gradually cut it as my hair grows. I only wanted length. I didn't care about the whole locking stage. I knew my hair was gonna be frizzy. I knew it was gonna go through all the budding stages, all of that. I'm for it. It's just that my hair was so short. I think I was maybe a little over a year in having natural hair. I would say having length, because I cut my hair off about a year ago. So I shaved it off. So I want to say my hair was about 5 or 6 inches. It came out right here. If I was to twist it or something, it came to about right here, close to my nose. And so I was like, I'm just thinking of Braidlocs, and I know it's gonna look skimpy and skinny. And so I was just thinking of like, okay, that's gonna just be too short. It's just not gonna look right. So let me just get a little more length, and then I can just gradually cut it. So that was my whole plan. So if my hair decides to lock where my natural hair is, and then my tips stay braided and frizzy, I'm going to cut it anyway. My plans is to cut it anyway, so we'll go from there. And then it's 2 more. The color is different. I explained that to you. So like I said, I bought virgin. I bought off black thinking that it was going to be a very, very dark brown, and I was hoping that it matched my chestnut hair color that I put in right before I installed these. And so when I received the hair, it looks black, and I'm like, oh. So I think that's gonna look very ugly with my roots being chestnut and my tips being black. So I don't know if you can tell, maybe on camera, but I can tell, especially in the sunlight, I can see a difference. So my roots is like a chestnut, and the tips black, and I think that's very ugly. I wish it was reversed. I wish it was black with the ombre tips. I think that would look a little more better. And so with that being said, since this is 100% natural hair, maybe in a month or so, I'll just dye it. I should be able to dye it and do whatever I want. I can leave this hair in. I know they explained that if she was to crochet the locks for you and send it to you, you can leave those in as permanent lock extensions forever, pretty much. So I know I can leave this in. I know I can dye it, so that's a good thing. So my plan is to just dye it. That's a con right now, but it's not a big deal, and I'll just dye it eventually, all black. The last thing is it has a smell. Now, it doesn't smell bad, but it doesn't smell good. So to me, it smells like wet fake hair. Honestly, it smells like if you had, like back in the day, those tracks, and it's like that fake human hair with the tracks on it, and you do your little wraps or straight hair or curly hair and you wet it. That's what it smells like. It smells like some type of weave, and so that irritates me so bad. That's one of the biggest cons for me, is that it has a smell. Now, as I'm washing my hair, I'm starting to smell like, if I smell right now, I smell a little bit of my shampoo or my leave-in conditioner that I use, but I still smell that smell that's on the hair is just so annoying to me. So hopefully in the next coming, because it's only been what, not even 2 weeks or so like that. So hopefully within the next few months that smell will go completely away. I'm hoping, because it's annoying just to smell. I don't know, I don't like that smell, but it doesn't smell really bad, it just doesn't smell good. All right, let's get into the pros, so this video won't be too long. So it provides length. So that was my main thing. I wanted to get a little length. I wanted to be able to wear it up in a ponytail. I can put it in a bun. I can wear it down. Most of the time I wear it down. And I like that even when it shrinks, like as the hair is starting to curl on the tips, if you see the little curlies, although the hair is starting to curl and I know it's going to shrink, I will still have a little length. I was hoping if it can just touch my neck, stay on my neck while it's shrunk, or while it's dry, because I know when it's wet it's a little longer, but as it dry, I was hoping it still touches my neck, and that's what I received, so I'm happy about that. So that was one of the pros, and that's what I really wanted. I got what I wanted. Long lasting, since it's 100% natural hair, I can keep it in if I want to. So if it starts lacking with my hair and it blends very well, I'm just gonna keep it in. But my plan is to start trimming it as it grows, just to get rid of the fake hair and just have my natural hair. And then the last thing, it looks like my hair. So when I say it looks like my hair, I feel like this looks pretty good. It's frizzy, like if you was to just braid it, and then it's starting to curl a little bit. And so I do like that. I'll show you a little bit. And it moves, and so I feel like it looks like my hair. Unless you know about hair, you may be able to tell the difference. If you look really close, you may be able to tell. I'm sure some of these braids have little knots in it, but for the most part, I'm pleased. So that's just a few pros and cons of my lock extensions, and I hope this journey is great. I hope it go as planned, and I'll just keep you all updated on just the next videos about updates on my natural hair, and because I know I'm going to do a video of me interlocking it, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, so I'll show you the back really quick. So I have about 230 braids, and I love that my hair is actually fuller than I thought, because I looked at some of the YouTube videos about Braidlocs, like the starter lock journey or the starter lock stage, and a lot of people didn't like how it looked really skimpy and just really thin and flat. To me, although I like flat hair, so I know it looks flat and I'm happy with it, but it actually looked fuller than I expected, especially like in the back, and like the hair, the fake hair on on my tips, just, I don't know, it feels fuller to me. So I'm happy about that. And one more con. So I'm happy that it looks fuller, but I'm a little upset because when it dries, like if I wet my hair and then I moisturize it, and then when it dries, it just looks kind of stiff. Like it's not, do you see that? It's not like flowing like with natural, like your natural hair would. It's on the little stiff side. I don't know if it's because of the tips being, fake to me, or I don't know if it's because it's braids. So I don't really know, but I know that I don't like that it's stiff. I do know that. Well, so I'm not gonna keep you any longer. Thank you so much for tuning in, and subscribe and comment, and I'll answer any of your questions. And just stay tuned. Have a great day. Bye.